Hello and welcome to AOR F3 Round 4 Russia, the billiard table that is Russia, the stupid Tilkadrome with all its 90-degree turns that I fucking hate. But we begin with a bug. Oh, it's F1 2017, why not? Okay, so I think both Skeven and I asked to leave the garage at roughly the same time, and then obviously a couple of guys coming down the pit lane. You get held for those guys that come down the pit lane, that's fine. But watch this. Who am I waiting for? Who am I fucking waiting for? No one. And then one car goes past, and then both Skeven and I get led at the same time, line of stern, right in front of one another. Here comes the car, there goes the Williams. Oh, you can go now. Well, why did you hold me for 7-8 seconds before then, mate?
Sake.
As you can see, I'm not really happy, because now I've got to stare at Skeven's gearbox for the whole of my outlap, and try and make space for myself towards the end of it. So here we go, onto our first quali lap. Skeven's got a couple of seconds gap, and I deemed that enough. So we're just, right, fuck it, let's go. Obviously these first laps of the session are just a banker, they're really not really representative, the track evolution is ridiculous, and there's only 12 minutes in the session, so you really only get 2 runs, and this is the first of those runs. Luckily in Russia, the tyre wear is so low that you can do a couple of laps on your tyres in quali and not really feel that much of an effect in the race. Anyway, turn 2 was alright, turn 3 now, meh, boring, turn 4, boring, you know, it's just so featureless, and it's just a waste of time really. I mean, look, the contours of the track, you can see with the rumble strips, if they followed the walls, then it'd be quite a challenging circuit. Some of these corners would be, you know, 4th, 5th gear corners, proper 4th, 5th gear corners, where the car's balancing on quite a long apex, rather than just these tight 90 degrees with tiny little apexes. It'd be a far more interesting. I mean, here, look, can you imagine the speed you'd carry on the straight if you were able to take that right up against the wall? It'd be more demanding that way anyway. But unfortunately, no, it's just one of those things. We're all in the same boat, just a shit track. Ace has made sense pole position on a 1:35.2. We know we can go faster than that. We know we are going faster than that. So our PB is a 33.6. That was our practice qualifying, you know, personal best. But I know that we're probably not going to get close to that here because it's AOR, you know, all the nerves are up. Hybrid nuke sets a 35 flat. And on this initial run with such poor grip and not really knowing where the car is, we set a 34.3. And usually I set a 34 flat on my first run, so you know there's a lot of time in there, a lot of it in the last sector as well, 2 brakes so early. For turn 15, turn 16. Really hesitant there. Now on our second flying lap, this is the out lap, there's a Red Bull up here which gives up on his lap and pulls out the way, lets us both go past and the guy in the Haas. Now I know now that there's a little bit of a gap up front and I need that clean air because I want to do 2 laps, so I'm right, okay, let's fight you for track position, Mr. Haas. I really want to be in front of him because I can do 2 runs, because if I drop back I won't get 2 runs out of quali, out of this final part of quali, and he runs a little bit wide there and we just slipped. I put it into max and I'm like, right, I need to get past you, I need clean air, I'm not giving up on this. We're not really closing that well, so he must be running lower wings than me, so I just put it in lean and I've just thought, like, okay mate, just make a mistake, and likely he did. I was very, very happy about that, because he made a mistake, ran wide, and now I have clean air for my quali lap. I was quite happy about that. I don't know who it was, but sorry mate, but I needed the clean air as well. Anyway, here comes, I backed off a little bit more to let that guy in front go, and there's a decent gap between me and the Haas now, so he's not really going to be affected. But here we go, into max fuel mixture. This is the big run of the quali session. This is where it matters. All the tracks rubbered in, the car's as light as it's going to get. Absolutely balls to the wall, but not really too much, because Russia, it's worth losing 2 or 3 tenths to, you know, get the lap done, rather than hold those 2 or 3 tenths on the line and on the limit and cut corners, because sometimes it'll invalidate you, sometimes it won't. So as you can see from turn 1, we've lost time there on a run that wasn't really that good before, so we know there's 2 or 3 tenths, 2 tenths I'd say there, easy with a good line. Turned in too early for that one, brake too early, then turned in too early as a consequence, and we've lost some time there. This was quite a good run through here, though, really touched that apex nicely, good exit, picked up quite a lot of time, almost a tenth. Into here now, very fast right hand in 5th gear, another really good entry, another good exit, good judgment. Here, it's quite an interesting corner because it's off camber, you kind of get pulled to the right, but you want to come back left because it gains you more time. As you can see, the delta's flying up. A couple of feet wide of the apex there, didn't really trouble it too much, so that will have lost us time, and it has, you know, it's lost us almost half a tenth. Come down the back straight now, you want to brake late and hard for these last few corners, and I didn't do that. So we're purple there, but we broke way too early. What are you doing? Come on, Ash. Understeer for this second part, out on the curb. Really dropping the ball here. Into turn 16 now. It's a hateful corner that I just can't seem to get right. Car felt alright through there that time, but you can see it's so slow. It's visibly slow. Not just through the time and the stopwatch. Into the last few corners now. Could have cut that more. Big kick of oversteer. Into the last corner. Really hesitant. No confidence. And we try and go for another lap, but it really doesn't go that well. We're a couple of tenths down, so I just bail out of that one and retire. So unfortunately we didn't get the quicker run. We didn't really gain that much time. It was a bit of a naff lap really, but it was consistent and it wasn't cheating. There were no cuts or anything, so yeah, swings and roundabouts. But what is nice about it is that it's a double Sauber front row, so first time Saubers have ever locked out the front row. So that was quite nice. I looked to my right and see Skeeven there. That was good. I enjoyed that. But hoping for a good start now, because that slipstream down into turn 1 is going to be absolutely destructive. Lights out, away we go. Good second part of the launch. The first part of the launch was, you know, mediocre, but the second part really hooked it up and away we go. And that was enough to get a decent enough gap on Skeeven that he couldn't slipstream us down to turn 1. But he goes late on the brakes. He looks on the outside. We've given him as much room as possible, but we've managed to get through there together. I don't think he was that aggressive because, you know, the teammate side of things, if it was someone else, maybe he would have put his nose in there. But I was hoping we could pull away from the pack, or at least I could pull away from Skeeven and he got swallowed up into the pack. Either one will do me. But I know the dirty air effect is really poor around here, so I know that I'm in the best place. And to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting to lead. I thought that down into turn 1 I get swamped by at least 2 cars and then maybe get swallowed back into the pack a little bit. But beyond that, I wasn't even expecting to be on pole either. I thought I'd be mid-pack, you know, 4th, 5th, and then hopefully get a podium out of it. But at this point I was like, ooh, you know, a bit flustered, like, oh, I'm in the lead. What shit, there's no one in front of me, where's the dirty air? But you know, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it, even if it was a bit lucky. Pulled a little bit of a gap on Skeeven here, but I just don't know what I was doing coming into this last sector. Look how early I braked. It was just so flustered about being at the front. It was like, oh wow. So braked too early there, made a little mistake, and you know, left a bit of time on the table. And here, really wide, you really see the fuel effect here. The car's just so lazy, and even though that set of corners is bad for me in quality, I mean in the race that looks even worse, right? But into lap 1 now, we've managed to pull 7 tenths on Skeeven, which isn't a massive amount, but you know, it's decent. It's a decent gap, and Mercedes is stuck up behind Skeeven as well, so that's good for me. A couple of laps later, we kept pushing, kept trying to pull that gap away. Mercedes finally passed Skeeven, and the gap between me and Mercedes is 2.8 seconds. We haven't really pulled out that much time considering he spent 5 laps in dirty air. So that is ominous. So I know Mercedes is going to start catching me pretty quickly. So is it 2.8? It's lap 9 now, 1.2. So yeah, he's coming, and he's coming fast as well. Unfortunately for him, it was towards the end of the stint, you know, the tyres were going off, so as he started to get close, you know, the dirty air was really starting to affect him. So the gap stayed around 1 second, 1.2, and you saw how oversteery the rear was there, and I'm like, my pace is poor, we may as well undercut, take the initiative, bite the bullet, go straight in now, to make sure he can't undercut us, because if he undercuts us, I mean, that's just, you could throw away the race right there, because as soon as he gets ahead, he's gone. So I thought, right, okay, let's sacrifice that 1 lap or 2 laps of wear, and we'll get the undercut. Hopefully we'll get some clean air.
Please come out in clean air, please.
Coming into the box now, hoping for a good stop. Car goes up on the jack. As the car comes back down, absolutely beautiful. Nailed it. As I said, beautiful. It absolutely nailed it. 2.6. Not a moment lost. Hoping for clean air now. You got 007 and Bankai Bullet. Bick has pitted in the same lap as me, so these two guys now.
It's almost clean air, almost.
There we go. Just they started the race on those tyres, so it's almost clean air. The only good thing about it is that their tyres will be a lot older. I'll have a big pace advantage, so hopefully I won't spend too long behind them. And unfortunately, that yellow flag and that little message we got on was Skeeven retiring from the session. So unfortunately, that's my team laid out. We were looking for a good result in the constructors. That would have been really good. And he's left the session. Unfortunately, he's lost a wheel, so that is game over. Sucks. Really sucks.
Shut up.
Jeff, I know he's fucking crashed. I know there's a yellow flag. I know there's a green flag. Just shut your mouth, mate. I don't need you to tell me that your teammate's gone off. Yeah, I know. I can see it. Alright, don't need to put me off. But speaking of being put off, Bankai's gone wide. And we're looking around the outside here. He squeezes us. That's really tight. Coming onto the back straight now. I've had to cut the audio because it's not really family friendly. But he moves to the left and then moves to the right as we go to the right. But we've managed to get enough of an overlap there where he can't close the door, and we are ahead now. Unfortunately for him, he made that mistake, because if he hadn't made that mistake, I think we would have been stuck behind him until at least the main straight. So unfortunately for him, fortunately for us, we've managed to slip past Banke without losing too much time. Coming up behind 007 Professional, he's got decent pace actually. He's not. I'm not really reeling him in, but he is on the soft tyres, so he will be slower theoretically than Bankai Bullet. So he might put up less of a fight, but he might then be more of a roadblock as well because of that tyre advantage that I have. But he'll have it at the end. So you can see what kind of strategy he's playing. That's Mazays there coming out the pits with Jonas just behind him. And they've come out way back. That's a good 3 seconds gap for me. A couple of laps later, we've caught up to 007 Professional. And he's not actually struggling that bad, but as soon as I come up behind him, he started making mistakes. Unfortunately for him, he just moves to the inside there to block. I moved to the inside just to sort of show my nose, and that was enough really. He just sort of missed his braking point by about 3 or 4 metres. And he's run wide a little bit, and that's given us a nice run on the inside, and just job done. Past him as well, so both occasions managed to get past quite quickly from other guys making mistakes. So, you know, I was again quite lucky with that one. All of a sudden, Jonas pops into P2 though, 3.5 seconds back. Mazays has dropped behind Jonas, he's 5 seconds back. Looking back, Mazays had contact with Bankai Bullet and that broke his front wing.
Brake later and harder.
But Jonas is on fire, as you can see, fastest lap. He's 2.7 behind now, so he's catching, you know, just over almost a second a lap. And now he's 2 seconds. How exactly?
The time?
I'm losing half a second. I'm losing so much time. I'm trying to push so hard, but he's just got so much more pace. Coming into turn 1, take our own advice, brake later and harder, and brake way too late. Have to go wide. We've lifted off, make sure we didn't get an advantage, and that's put him within 8 tenths. So
I've just not got the pace.
There we go. I'd openly admit that I don't have the pace. He's closing so fast. He's closed almost a second each lap, and put me under enough pressure to make a mistake. And here he is. He's 3 tenths behind. This is the lap. And I decided, as he closed in on me here, and I did defend the inside. I don't know why I defended the inside, because he's miles back. Almost compromised myself. But at this point I thought, look, I looked at the mini-map, I saw the gap, and I thought, look, if he makes a move, I'm going to leave him go. And I'll just stick behind him, because it's not worth battling and then losing the places behind. Because that's 4 places behind, they're all within a couple of seconds of each other. So I thought, you know, play the long game, Ash. Don't let him have the position, obviously put up a fight, but if he's, you know, got his nose next to your nose ahead, just give up, let him go. He's so much faster. He's sticking with me in the dirty air. That's how much faster he is right now. And all he's got is 1 lap fresher tyres. There's no advantage. That's like 1 or 2% wear. That's nothing. That's only noticeable. He's just the quicker man right now. He's had Mazays. Mazays got his wing damage, so he's fighting back a couple of places back. But here he goes. This is his best chance. Jonas has the DRS, the slipstream, but he's not that close, so I think he got a little bit of wash from the dirty air, so I've just put it in lean, because as you can see I really haven't got the fuel to fight either. He's closed up by half a tenth, and this is the part where I'm slowest. As you can see, the double proximity, I'm the closest he's been all lap. I just have 0 pace in this sector. You know, I was losing half a second a lap to him here, and it's like I just couldn't get through there any quicker without losing the car, so it just wasn't worth it. But at this point, oh, we did get a tap. Well, a tap. We got hit pretty hard. Unfortunately for Jonas, that has busted his wing.
Why have you hit me, man?
I wasn't really annoyed at him, because obviously I can't get damage from behind unless someone hits me really hard. You might damage your rear wing these days, but I was a bit frustrated because it was his win. It was literally his win was on the table. It was right there. He was going to have me on that straight, and it would have been nice to have, you know, a small little battle out of it as well. But he came across, you know, the messages at the end and said, look mate, I'm sorry, I messed up, so you can't say fairer than that. You know, he made a mistake, and I wasn't even mad at him. I just thought, you know, it sucks, man, because you could have won that race easily. He'd have won by about 5-6 seconds. But unfortunately he's fallen back into the pack now. Fortunately for Vicstar, he's picked up 2 places out of it, but he's also caught me by 3 seconds in about 4 laps, so he's absolutely flying. I'm not flying.
Oh my days.
They ran out of laps, so lap 27 I managed to win the race by 4.2, but really lucky out of all of it. You know, the amount of things that fell into place for me to win that race was just ridiculous. Can't even count them on your hand. And that pace that Vic showed at the end really showed that he had the pace to win as well at the end of the race. I was just I just nowhere in terms of pace. But I will say that my little indicator is green, so I'm pleased. But no, in all seriousness, I really didn't deserve to win that. There were 3-4 guys behind me that had a lot more pace, as you can see by the fastest laps. I don't know how. Obviously, a lot of guys had penalties and I didn't, so even if I did finish second or third, I might have still got higher than that. But that was probably one of my luckiest races, to be honest with you, because Mercedes had contact with Bankai Bullet, he damaged his wing. Jonas crashed into me. I think Vic had a bit of a tough time trying to get past them both, and I just didn't have any pace. And you can see the times that Jonas put in, so consistent, so fast, and I had no response. So really, I'm due some bad luck now. I've had a couple of lucky races, so the next few races might not be as good as that, unfortunately. But that's just the way it goes. But we'll see how they go.